my grandmother's maiden name was Rice, and I think that is British. And
Yeah.
and I have let's see, Gallimore and Williams and MacLeod, Scottish MacLeod.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
These are all some of my ancestors.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you see, in England, you've got the class system. You've got your aristocrats, which is the Rothschild money, and then you've got your royalty under those, and then you've got your upper class, and then you've got your middle class, then you've got your lower class, and the lower class is the fodder they send off to war. They're all totally racist. You don't have to be black in England to be a racist against, to have someone being a racist against you. You just have to be of the wrong class.
well, let's see.
Well,
What brings to mind what went on in India? You know, they had the caste system. But you're saying that that's just a mirror image of what has gone on
absolutely.
in the British Isles.
Absolutely. And of course it all goes back to when King James VI of Scotland was nominated by Elizabeth I to take the throne of England because she died without an offspring. She nominated King James VI of Scotland. Now, at that time, the Scottish people were less than dogs in the English law. What they did in England, the aristocrats went and took over Scotland and were burning people in their houses to get rid of them because the land was used for sheep. And you'll find that most of the Scottish people in that dreadful time ended up going to America and Canada. So this is
those would be my ancestors.
Absolutely.
Right?
So there's no love lost against the English. Now, the English, of course, have been dominated because it's the House of David. This is where the throne's all about. And the Khazar Jews have targeted the throne of David so that they could control it to stop the Messiah coming. See, the average Christian probably doesn't really believe that God's coming back. If he's coming back, he's coming up back on a bloody horse that's going to be 10,000 feet high or something stupid like that. Yet, in actual fact, how did Jesus get in? Well, he was born of the royal line of Mary. Not she was a virgin, but she was not conceived by the Holy Ghost. She was conceived by her husband, who was the royal line of David. Jacob, Ben Jacob his name was. So, Joseph ben Jacob was the royal line, marrying into the royal line of Mary. So, this made him, the Jesus figure, the most royal person. Now, how does he come back? Well, if it happened the first time by being born into the royal line, it happens the second time of being in the royal line. Otherwise, there's no point of having a royal line. And this is what the churches, all churches, deny, and me in particular, that it's impossible. I cannot be Yahweh because I'm an Aussie for a start. And who would have a Paul Hogan look-alike, if you like, as Yahweh? Well, God just happened to have a sense of humour. So we end up with this particular scenario and say, look, I don't give a damn what the churches think. I don't care what the governments do. I don't care what the Queen thinks. I'm here. I'm taking over. Sorry about that, but that's how it's going to be, because I'm here for the kids. I'm not here for the oldies that's going to die now. As a matter of fact, my brother-in-law, which is Michelle's sister's husband, he knows all about me. I sat down eyeball to eyeball. I told him, right? No problem. He's known for years. So I said to Michelle just the other day, I said, if these people don't come in line, this is my own family, they're as good as dead. They will die. So just before the show, Michelle tells me that Rod Ward his name is, they're down holidaying in South Australia, is now in hospital with a stroke. Hello? I don't like to mention these things because they come to pass pretty quick. So I can only warn my immediate relatives that unless they get their finger out their backside, and this is the problem, there's a prophecy that covers that, a prophet has never recognised his own country. Well, that is true. That is true. Your own family.
I tell a little joke using that piece. You know, it is said that a prophet is not without honor except in his own country. And the more in more modern parlance, it is said also that an expert is a person who's 75 miles away from home.
Yeah.
And one time I was giving a speech 150 miles away from home, so I said, well, that must make me an expert.
That's right.
As far as I just thought I'd interject that. You know, I have a sense of humor too. So.
Yeah. Rather going on about this biblical stuff, the Bible, I've said that the best thing you can do with the Bible is hang it in your toilet, drill a hole in it, and wipe your ass on it, because it is all totally corrupt. Paul, the false apostle, was not an apostle. He was a member of the Pharisees. He actually married a sister of Herod. Okay, he was responsible for tracking Peter down in Rome and having him executed. So this is
Paul.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just part of the. If you look at the New Testament, 1/3 of the New Testament is written by Paul. Paul is here. He is locked up in a jail with. He must have had a couple of stenographers with him and all the paper and pen he needed, writing letters to all these different churches in Turkey. Right. And then when he gets out, he has impunity going anywhere in Roman territory that he liked preaching. What happened? Peter, he had to sneak into the catacombs of Rome, where he was there for 15 years or so, until finally he was tracked down by Paul, the false apostle, and put into the Romans, ended up being crucified upside down.
Yeah, I was going to say at his own request, upside down, as I recall.
Yeah.
Because he didn't feel worthy to be crucified in the same manner that Christ was. Okay.
Well, that's right. That's right.
But
I should add, Ken, that these people, for example, Michelle, she is Mary Magdalene. Her numbers, although she doesn't know why or how it all came about, but she happened to marry a man who was a psychopath. But the children that was born via that union, marrying into my children, I had to marry a harlot, a small town harlot in a place called Lithgow. And a more evil person you never meet. This is where I said, Satan, give it your best shot. So I marry a harlot and produce children that also reject me, by the way. And Michelle's children also reject me. I think I'm a lunatic. But the numbers of their births in relationship to me and to Michelle and so forth open up the dimensions of the King's Chamber via the antechamber of the Great Pyramid, and it is measured to within 10,000ths of an inch. And I could tell you that there are a string of miracles that come out of that mathematics, if you're into mathematics, that is an absolute impossibility to have occurred, but is identified by location, by where the children were born, by my age, by Michelle's age, etc. Goes into my side of the family, how old my brother was when I was born, 8.88 years, where I was born in Sydney, Australia. The sunrise to moonrise was 888 minutes. My eldest daughter was born in Canada, Port Alberni. Sunrise to sunset, 888 minutes. I was 888 days old. Right there, you don't have to go any further. This can only have been accomplished by Yahweh. 888 is Jesus in Greek. But that's just a tip. That's, Ken, is just a tip of the iceberg. I can talk for days at a time about this kind of stuff. The only interruption is I've got to breathe in occasionally.
Okay. Alrighty. Let me just announce that if you're listening live, you already know this, but this is Revolution Broadcasting, the voice of liberty, and your host Ken Van Doren, and we are talking to Brian Golightly Marshall, and we are talking about biblical prophecy being fulfilled, among other things.